Hey everyone, welcome back to Unwind and Release, the place where you come to focus on your mindset shift, personal growth, and creating a fulfilling life. I'm your host, Portia, and today we're going to talk about how to navigate through difficult conversations without arguing. That is kind of hard because a lot of arguments come from difficult conversations. So, yeah, let's dive into this topic and see what we got. So, of course, we all know we hate having difficult conversations with our friends, our family members, significant others, because some kind of way it always leads into a argument. Whether it's this person not understanding where you're coming from or you not understanding them, y'all didn't even not hearing each other out, like those type of things can lead to an argument instead of just a conversation. So the way that we're going to dive into and try to kind of break down how to avoid an argument. So step one is why difficult conversations are necessary. That's one. The biggest mistake that we make that leads into an argument. Strategies to communicate without triggering conflict. And how to stay calm when the other person isn't. So those are the 4 things that we're going to dive into today on this topic, and hopefully by the end it'll help some of us out in how to kind of have these difficult conversations without having to argue. Alright, so first we're going to talk about why difficult conversations are necessary. At the same time, it's like, why do we even have to put ourselves in a position to have these difficult conversations in general? So we're going to have to think about it. Like, why are we even having this conversation right now, type of thing? Like, you should know me by now, I should know you by now, and we shouldn't have to go through these difficult conversations and argue through them. Like, it should be like a mutual respect type of thing, where I understand you, you understand me, you break it down so I can understand you, I break it down so you can understand me, and let's move forward. We don't have to have a argument just to talk and understand each other. But there are a lot of people out there that truly avoid difficult conversations. I somewhat am one of those people sometimes, because I just feel like if I just had a difficult conversation with you, or just, talk to you about something, and then something else comes up, I don't want to feel like I'm nagging at that point. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I bring up the conversations when they truly are necessary for me, because I feel like we're going to put ourselves through what we feel like we can handle. And I feel like once we are through handling, or just going through all the different things that we're handling by ourselves, that's when we're ready to talk. That's when we're ready to let you know what's going on and why I'm feeling this way and stuff like that, instead of keep putting this on another person just because you just don't want to feel like dealing with it. Like, no, if you can deal with it so that you can understand. So when you explain it to your partner, or explain it to your friends, or explain it to your family, you can now break down to where they can understand what the problem is. Because sometimes you can think you really have a problem until you sit and think to yourself, like, dang, that's really not my problem. Like, why am I even worrying about this? Because we think so much about so many things that is surrounding us, that we feel like it's our problem. But in reality, a lot of things we cannot handle. A lot of things that we cannot control. Like, we have to understand, like, things that we cannot control, we have to learn to let it go. Like, it's better said than done, but we have to learn to let it go. Because if you don't, it is going to cause you to have a lot of stress, and mentally it's going to break you really quick, because you cannot, you can't control it. Like, the person next to you can't control it. Like, there's just something that you have to learn to let go and move forward from. Because I had to learn that the hard way with a lot of stuff in my life, and now I'm on the journey of shifting my mindset and bettering myself to where I learned to kind of think about the problems that I'm actually going through, to see if that's something that I can fix. Is it something that my spouse can fix? Is it something that somebody around me can fix. If I'm thinking about it like that, then I'm opening my mindset, I'm opening my mind up in general to kind of like understand what's really happening around me. So I can know like, okay, well, I cannot control this. Nobody can. Let's move on from it. Meditate about it, move on from it, get on to your next topic. You have other things that you surround yourself with that you don't have to focus on just that one. So that's how I kind of like focus on things that I cannot control and focus on things that I can control. So if it's a problem within my household, I'm going to take a time out when we both are off work. We have that free time. So I won't be stressing you out before work. You won't be stressing me out before work or stressing each other out after work. So I wait until we have off time, that free time to like just have a calm conversation and talk about it. So the setting would also help when you're having those difficult conversations, because if you gotta go to work, why would you have a difficult conversation before you go to work? Because now you finna go to work, man. You finna go to work stressed. You finna go to work thinking about what he just said or what you said and how y'all gonna be when y'all get home and stuff like that. I just choose not to have a conversation or a real difficult conversation when we're about to leave each other. Only reason why I say that is because now you have time to meditate on the anger. You have time to meditate on the stress that I just, just gave to you or whatever. So I just feel like don't have those difficult conversations when y'all are getting ready to separate, because now y'all both having time to sit and meditate on that anger, and when y'all come back together, it's just gonna be bumping heads at that point. So when you have those difficult conversations, thinking about the setting, think about what y'all finna do after work, what y'all gotta do before, stuff like that. So build that conversation into like schedule that conversation so you can know, okay, if it goes sideways, okay, we still finna be here together. Let's take a 10 and come back to this conversation a little bit later. Like knowing that y'all finna be like together, y'all have time, like 10-15 minutes. Okay, you need a breather, you're a little hyped up right now. Okay, I'm gonna let you cool down, but guess what, in 5 to 15 minutes you better be ready for this conversation, because I didn't have a little release from my side. You got what you had to say off, now it's my turn to say what I need to say. So we have to learn to allow each other to talk so that we can have a full communication going on both ways. And also, we have to stop looking at difficult conversations as a problem and look at it as an opportunity to grow, instead of, oh, I have to deal with this person today with this arguing and stuff. Don't think of it as arguing. Don't think of it as nagging. Don't think of it as, being bitter or anything like that. Just think of it about as I'm trying to communicate with somebody that I truly care about, and I pray that they understand where I'm coming from, because I'm not coming from a hard place. I come from a place of love and care. And it's just that simple. Once you change your mindset and think like that, if the person don't get it, they don't understand it, that means they have to grow. They need to better themselves on the inside so they can eventually understand where you're coming from. And that's another thing too, like especially like in friendships and relationships, sometimes one person do grow before the other person. And with that being said, sometimes you have to take time for the other person to get on the level that you on with growth, whether it's mentally, physically, financially, whatever. If you truly are there for that person, you truly want to be with that person, you're going to give them that grace to grow. You're going to give them that time to grow. You're going to help them get to the level that you on so that y'all can do it together eventually. Okay, so now let's get into biggest mistakes that we make when going into a difficult conversation. Going into a difficult conversation with a win-lose mindset is a big no. Do not do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. You is going to just ruin the whole conversation. Because I feel like with the win-lose mindset, you coming into this conversation like, what I say is what I say, and what you say don't really matter. And I feel like that's how I think about a win-lose type of thing, because you coming to me with the problem. I don't know you have a problem until you tell me you got a problem. I can make it feel your problem, like your tension in the room sometimes, but I'm not gonna address it until you address it, because why would I come to you about your own problem that you got with me and I don't even know that it's a real problem? Because now I'm making assumptions about something. So I just feel like if you go into a conversation with a win-lose mindset, it's not going to be great, because at the end of the day, if it's with your friend, family member, significant other, why even care about a win-lose conversation? Why have that mindset with those type of people? Like, what's the point? What is the purpose of it? Because I mean, truthfully, when I first started dating, like grown up dating, when I started growing up dating, yes, I still had that win-lose mindset, because I was a, child going into adulthood. So now I don't care about a win-lose conversation. I care more so about, like, do you understand my feelings? My feelings is what truly matters, because to me, if you don't understand my feelings, then what are we really doing here? Like, I want you to understand my feelings so that you can know that you hurt my feelings when you did this thing, or you know that my feelings are hurt when this happened to me and you wasn't there, or you was there but you wasn't mentally there with me, So I just feel like going into a conversation with a win-lose mindset with the people that you love, it's just, don't do it. Like, it's just, I don't understand it. I feel like that's kind of childish at this point, for the adults here. I feel like it's just childish, especially if y'all don't really have, like, if y'all have a lot of arguments, then y'all have a lot of growing to do, and that's fine, because a lot of relationships do start off with a lot of arguing, a lot of back and forth, because we're learning each other, we're learning to live together, we're learning to grow together with cooking together, using the bathrooms, and like sharing a lot of things together. Is gonna have a little bumping heads here and there. At this point, I feel like I'm living with like my family, because at the end of the day, we are going to be family. Like, we are family. So I just feel like at the beginning of every relationship, I feel like there is gonna be a little bumping heads here and there, or those tough conversations here and there, because I don't want to step on your toes when I say what I gotta say, because I'm still learning you. You know what I'm saying? And you still learning me, so you might not want to step on my toes either. So I just feel like we all have to learn each other so that we can know, like, what not to say when trying to have those difficult conversations, and those trigger points for our significant others, friends, or family members. So that's one thing. Don't go into a conversation, a difficult conversation at that, with a win-lose mindset, because most of the time it's not gonna always end well, because if they say some good points, some valid good points, then you're gonna go back and be like, dang, like, I'm still mad because now they making sense and I'm really not making sense, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So just don't do that to yourself. Don't go into a win-lose mindset. Don't go into a difficult conversation with a win-lose mindset, because it's not gonna always end well. So now that we've gone over what not to do, so now we're going to go over some things that we can kind of think about doing before going to those difficult conversations. Okay, so for starters, I would say before going into the conversation, ask yourself some questions. What is your goal here? What are you trying to accomplish? What are you trying to get across? What is your goal? Is the issue to fix? Like, are you trying to fix something? Are you just trying to get your feelings understood? Like, what's going on? And what is going to be the compromise? Like, what are you trying to make happen at that point? Thirdly, do your best to keep a calm tone. Try to be open to whatever they have to say, so they can be open to what you have to say, because you coming to them with the problem. So if they say something to you about it, be open to what they're saying, because they're surprised that you're upset. They're surprised that you have a problem. So they don't have everything together like you have, like your thoughts together. You know what I'm saying? So just be open to what they have to say, so that when you have something to say back, say to them, don't have a rude tone with them. Don't be nasty with them. Like, just have a neutral tone and be open about the conversation. Because like I say, you're the one coming to them about a problem. So of course they're gonna be unlevel-headed because they're surprised. You're not surprised. They are surprised, So think about that. Like, think about how they feel that you coming to them, that you're upset with them about something. They don't even know what you like. You know what I'm saying? They trying to figure out what's going on. So do your best to understand them, just like they have to do their best to understand you as well. Let's get into this. For me, like I said, I probably went through like a time when I was just had my child, and I was probably going through, depression and stuff like that. But I was just quiet for a whole year. If he had something to say, I probably didn't even respond most of the times. I let him talk to himself. And if he wanted me to respond, I would respond, but I would respond very softly because I just needed that. I needed that time. So it's just a lot of things literally had just went over my head. Like, I didn't let it bother me at all. Like, it did not bother me at all. So okay, so finally, y'all, I'm officially through. That was the end. I really hope this was a really good conversation for a lot of people out there, because difficult conversations are a lot. It's not easy. It's not always calm, of course. And if it is calm, that's great for y'all. Y'all have grown a lot, and y'all did it. Like, a lot of people are still going through these difficult conversations. A lot of people aren't even having the difficult conversations yet, and are scared to have those difficult conversations because they don't know how their life is going to be after that conversation is over. So if y'all made it to that point, great for y'all. I'm happy. I love it. Stay there. Keep growing. Like, yeah, it's nothing but greatness after that. But if you're not to that point, take your time to get there. It does not happen overnight. Growth takes time. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the other person. You're going to get there because you're trying to fix you, and that's all that matters. So here's my challenge for y'all that I want y'all to do. Y'all already know I want y'all to do something. So let's get into that challenge. And for this week's challenge, I kind of want y'all to think about one tough conversation that you've really been kind of like avoiding, and commit to handling that difficult conversation, but just try to do it a little differently this time to see if it works for you. If you haven't got there yet, it's okay, but you're gonna get there. But just think about that, implement that into your day. Also, set those boundaries as well, so that when you have those conversations, that you have those boundaries set as well for you, your surroundings and everything, so that when you have that difficult conversation, you came out on top and accomplish your goal that you need to accomplish. So set those boundaries when you before you have those difficult conversations. But of course, if this episode has resonated with you, please let me know. You can send me a message, leave a comment, whichever you're comfortable with. And also share this video with a friend or family or significant other who needs to hear it today. But of course, until next time, take care of yourself and keep those conversations open. See y'all soon.